What's going on, Tallahassee? We have made it to Friday. It's January 18th, and welcome to our final show for the week of FSU weather. I'm meteorologist Jake Karstens.
I'm student meteorologist Colby Pope, and hey, Jake, we saw it all day, didn't we? We had some clouds, we had some sunshine, even snuck in a shower there at the end of the day, didn't we?
Yeah, really great timing for that on my walk to go get food earlier this afternoon. But one thing we did avoid, of course, was those really cold temperatures in the morning. We woke up to temps in the upper 40s, which is a nice shift in the right direction for many of us from what we've been seeing earlier in the week, and got up to 70 this afternoon.
Yeah, I actually got to take the hoodie off a little early today. You know, we've been layering up for the whole week, but really those temperatures in the 50s, and then we really got going. We made it to 70 today, didn't we?
Yeah, exactly. And despite that shower that moved in through the afternoon hours, otherwise things have been fairly calm. And we're going to keep an eye on what's to come the next couple of days, because that trend is going to change in a pretty big way about, say, 24 to 48 hours from now.
Yeah, we'll definitely see some changes on the way as our next weather maker moves in. We have an area of low pressure that will definitely affect us. We'll have that cold front move through our area, and a lot to talk about today's show. It's going to be jam-packed, so get things going. Let's send it out to the wall. Overview with Sarah.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I mean, we do have a lot in store for this show as we're getting those comfortable temperatures today. Right now, 66 degrees. It is cloudy as we do have that cloud cover going to be sticking around for the weekend. As we move off onto Sunday, we're going to see that cold front make itself known, bringing down our cooler temperatures. And like Colby said, we did see a little passing shower move through a little line of some scattered showers. But as we move off into our southeast view, we do see this low pressure system off into Oklahoma. That's going to be a big factor into the weekend as we have that cold front following right behind it. As we move into that 3-day forecast, you can really see that big drastic drop as we have 71 degrees on a Saturday, that stormy chance. But if you're waking up to church on a Sunday or going out to brunch, we have that 20-degree drop into 50 degrees. And then for Monday morning, if you're waking up to your morning, we have classes off, but if you're going out for a morning run, it can be very chilly, so make sure you have that jacket. But here are some headlines for the show. Saturday, we're going to have very cloudy Saturday, stormy Saturday night, and much cooler and windy Sunday as well. But I'm going to send things back over to the desk to pick our next metro area.
Thank you, Sarah. And to refresh you guys here, because it's been a while since we've done one of our Friday shows, this is our part of the week where we draw the next city to do a forecast for. Dylan did it last year with the states. Michael's doing the cities this year. And this is the part of the program where I start to complain about whatever city I draw, because it is probably not going to be Chicago.
Now, this week's city is Phoenix, right?
Yep.
So why don't you draw, and we'll see what we'll talk about on next Friday.
Yeah, so we're doing the AMS Conference City, Phoenix, Arizona later on in the show. We're going to have Sarah out with that later on. But for next week, we're going to Little Rock, Arkansas, staying in the southeast, a little bit closer to home here than some of the stuff we've been doing recently. And they're getting some fun weather right about now, looking at a bit of a severe risk in parts of the southeast that I'm going to break down in a little bit, with some very cold air working to that spot as well.
Absolutely. And then we'll go to the natural state next week, but we're going to give it to the first local look with Dylan out at the wall.
Thank you very much, guys. Well, we look at our temperature today compared to other days. You can see you might not needed the jeans or the jacket today, because it was relatively warm in terms of our high and our low. That cloud cover really keeping it warm into the morning hours, and then into the afternoon we got a bit of rain, and that cloud cover heating it up just a little bit, and that moisture being present as well, keeping things just a tad warm. And we do see cloud cover is still present throughout much of the viewing area. You do have warmer temperatures than we saw yesterday this time. We have Mariana, clear skies though at 65 degrees. Some spots are still in the clearer areas, but it's still relatively warm, and you're starting to see the cool down take into effect on the counties eastward, and starting to see our temperatures drop just a bit. As we get into our dew points, these are way higher than they were yesterday, about 10 to 15 degrees higher than they were yesterday. That's due to that this frontal system is bringing a little bit of moisture ahead of it, and as we can see, our winds picking up that moisture from the Gulf, putting it onto our area, not feeling dry, not the chapstick weather as we've said the last couple of days. You're feeling a bit more moist and a little more humid, amplified by that rain we saw today, so it's not the best conditions, just a tad muggy, but these are expected to change as we get the next front system to move into our area. As we zoom out into the radar, we do see some showers earlier on today. I got rained on, unfortunately, didn't see it coming, but then those fizzled out, and we saw for a relatively clear time. Right now staying relatively clear, but showers could pop up at any minute at this time. And then as we zoom back out a little bit, here's a system that we've been talking about, or going to continue to talk about. There's this low pressure system over in Oklahoma right now, going to move its way eastward and swing down this cold front and bring in a large change in our temperature, dew point, and our winds. We're going to see that in a 7-day. And as we look in the next 24 hours, Spotty shower 2 is still possible, as we see cloud cover sticking around all of tonight, but less showers are possible into tonight, into tomorrow, as we see. You see the shower possibility drop down just a bit, not going to see much going on, but cloud cover is sticking around. As we get into tomorrow afternoon and evening, that's when we're going to see a shift, and these showers come back into our area, and a lot of strong rain over to our westward counties. Over here in Tallahassee, though, we are under a marginal risk for tomorrow. We have the possibility of a strong thunderstorm or two, but nothing too bad, as the storm system is going to start making its way into our area at the night, so the sun's not going to allow it to heat up and have those severe storms. Farther to our westward counties, though, or farther to our west areas, they're going to see the stronger possibility of a storm due to that daytime heating really firing things up. And as we look at tonight's forecast around the area, you start to see a bit of rain still kind of linger around in Colquitt as well. Blountstown just changed to a rain forecast for tonight. Warmer though, about 10 degrees warmer than last night in terms of our lows. Cloud cover really helping it to feel warm. So you're not really going to need to turn the heat on tonight at home. But into tomorrow, you're going to see another warm day and another rainy day. You're going to want to have your jacket with you, as rain is expected mostly in the afternoon around much of these areas, earlier in the day on the western part of our counties, and then later in the day in our eastern part of our counties in Valdosta, Madison, and Perry as well. And as we look at the week ahead, you see those rain chances into Saturday evening at 60%. Then Saturday night, you get those 90% chance of rain, so it's very likely you will see rain Saturday night. Sunday, though, in the morning, you start to see the clearing. And then we have a nice calm day for Martin Luther King Day on Monday. Clear skies, 53 degrees, but there is a big cool down, about 20 degrees between that cold front moving through. And then rain comes back into our forecast on Wednesday, and we get a little bit of a warm-up. Now let's send it over to Jake with the Southeast.
Pretty eventful looking 7-day there, and we're going to break down what's going on in other parts of the region, because some spots are already starting to see some of the weather that's going to be impacting us in the next couple of days. We start off by looking out to our west and portions of Texas, where the warmth is really starting to settle in ahead of this front. For example, Dallas sitting at 68 degrees right about now, and Lubbock over at 61, starting to feel a bit of a cool down. We're going to see the winds are really kicking up in portions of the Texas panhandle as well. And you really see where that front is in terms of the dew points here, and the sharp contrast between the southeastern portion of Texas and the northwest, where we have a 40+ degree dew point divide from Houston over back towards Lubbock and Amarillo and other areas in the northwestern portion of the state of Texas. Off to the east, Florida is a bit of an interesting little figure right here, with a 39-degree dew point in Orlando, 47 down towards Tampa. So the I-4 corridor, actually the driest portion of the state of Florida. Usually we're used to that being parts of the panhandle, but not so fast today, as we see that high really settling in over Florida very nicely. And then you also see further evidence of that front off to our west with this area of convergence right here through central Texas, some strong westerly and northwesterly winds working in behind it. We saw Lubbock up to about 36-mile-per-hour winds just before showtime around here. And out ahead, these southerlies are really starting to bring some of that moisture in from the Gulf of Mexico, setting up for what was already talked about by Dylan here, with this potential severe threat for us in areas off to our west, especially tomorrow here. And we see that low currently settled over portions of Oklahoma. Some shower and storm activity starting to move off the Gulf of Mexico in towards parts of Louisiana, but not really too much else going on as of now. Of course, we had a couple of showers over here towards Tallahassee earlier in the afternoon, but that has since quieted down. So with this not really too much rain going on right now, that's going to start building up as we work into the next 12 hours or so, which is of course not a good situation given all of the concerns about flooding here. We still see these flood warnings for many of the rivers off to our west here in association with the pretty hefty amounts of rainfall that we experienced really throughout the entire month of December. For instance, Tallahassee itself had its wettest December on record, and the Apalachicola River still had a flood warning as of yesterday. As for the next 48 hours, this is really when the action starts to get going. Overnight tonight and into tomorrow, we even see some potential wintry precipitation off to the north and west here. Not really a factor for us, however, with this pretty intense line of thunderstorms expected to move through enter the Florida Panhandle by about sunset tomorrow here. And again, a marginal risk for severe thunderstorms in Tallahassee, upgraded to a slight risk in areas off to our west, with damaging winds being the primary threat. And we cannot, of course, rule out the potential for waterspouts and a brief isolated tornado in some of these locations as well. So again, this is our hot spot right here, right along the Gulf Coast, right along the Interstate 10 corridor, westward towards about Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Some pretty hefty rainfall amounts with that as well, 1 to 2 inches in portions of northern Alabama. And as for tonight, you really see that warm sector out ahead of the front here, showing you the track of this, 64 degrees for that high in New Orleans. Not exactly the greatest day to get out on the golf course, of course, in Atlanta. The morning will be okay, though, 51 degrees before that rain settles in. So if you're going to be golfing up there, make sure to get that round in early. And as for tomorrow's forecast, the warmth is abundant over the state of Florida and the eastern portion of the region, while that cold air settles in behind the front with some calmer conditions, albeit a bit breezy off to our north and west. Now to send things over to the desk with Dylan and Sarah.
Thank you very much, Jake. And as we continue and end our week on severe weather awareness, we're going to talk about extreme temperatures and wildfires.
Yeah, so with the heat index, that's the big major killer for when we have these extreme heat events. So definitely make sure when you're taking care of like your dogs or just leaving kids in the car is a big no-no.
Right.
As we get in those hot like temperatures.
Right, and the heat index is taking the humidity value, how it and the heat that it is outside and what it feels like outside and what you'll feel like. So while it is 75 outside, it might feel like 85 because of that humidity and the sun beating down on you.
Yeah, definitely. But as we move on into more cooler like temperatures going to be seen in the weekend, we do have some things on cool weather awareness too there.
Yeah, so a lot of Florida homes aren't really made for these extreme cold temperatures, as we've kind of seen already and going to kind of peek into just a little bit more. We usually have one big cold event a year, but there is the possibility for more. And a lot of that is keeping with the 4 Ps, and I learned that there's a 5th P actually.
Oh, there is?
There's a 5th
What is
P.
a 5th
You want to
P?
go through the 4 Ps?
Okay, well I know the 4 Ps are taking care of people,
Yep.
taking care of pets, taking care of your pipes and your plants.
Yes, and it's also to practice fire safety. So a lot of Floridians don't actually know how to use like a space heater. It's not something we experience on a daily basis. And so when you use a lot of heating elements, it becomes a threat if there is a fire during these cold times.
Yeah, I didn't know about that.
No,
That's really cool. That's really cool to like make sure everyone knows that there's also other things you need to worry about for that.
Yeah, definitely. And then we also have wildfires that are mostly confined to the central and southern parts of the state. And those can be due to arson, lightning, or debris burning as well.
Yeah, definitely. So make sure you keep aware of these weather effects, whether it's heat, whether it's cold, or with fire. But we're going to send things back over to the wall with Kobe with our national.
Hey, thanks guys, and we're definitely dealing with that cold nationally. If look at the pinks there, that's representing temperatures that are 10 or possibly even around 0 degrees. Those are surging down out of Canada from that trough back behind that cold front that's stationed across the middle section of the country. Back behind it, a much drier area into the Pacific Northwest and then into the center portions of the northern plains there. And then we had that high pressure that's actually over Florida, but it's bringing in that air and that moisture off the Gulf of Mexico into places like San Antonio and then Dallas, Fort Worth. 23-mile-per-hour wind there out of Denver. That area of low pressure, though, centered right over Oklahoma. You can see that nice counterclockwise spin right into that low there, right over the Sooner State. There's that low, and that's the next weather maker we're going to see for us here in Tallahassee Saturday. And then we've got that next system there off into the Pacific Northwest. We'll start to really see that rain and even some snow on the backside of this system as it continues off to the east. Showers and storms. Now these are associated with those winds coming up off of the Gulf of Mexico there off the coast of Houston there into Corpus Christi. And then back toward Oklahoma, we start to see a line of showers and thunderstorms from Wichita south. The changeover to snow occurs actually up into Kansas. And then southern Colorado around Trinidad, you start to have some snow changeover there as well. As Jake was talking about in the southeast section, that is not a good situation for all these flood alerts. The Mississippi River, especially from around very far south of Memphis, around Vicksburg south, you've got flood warnings there on the Mississippi River, and we're going to have more moisture that's going to be pumping in. That rain's going to be falling and really adding to those values. Not a good situation there. A lot of snow across Minneapolis to the south of Minneapolis, across Minnesota into Iowa, and then even north of Kansas City there, that changeover. You can see the sleet there north of Kansas City. All rain though as you go back down to the south toward Wichita. And a barrage of winter weather alerts. You can see the pinks, those are winter storm warnings. So Iowa, northern Missouri, southern Minnesota, a lot of pink there, and that's where you can start to see a lot of snowfall there in those locations. And then wind chill advisory for those really cold temperatures that we see into Minnesota. Snow there starting to pile up in the Adirondacks of northern New York there, starting to see some snowfall there. They're going to have possibly up to 2 feet of snow in some of those locations. And again, there's that pink. We saw that there with that winter storm warning, and then we've got the winter weather advisory flanking that. Portions to the south that can see a couple of inches there into portions of southern Ohio, Kentucky, southern Indiana as well. Next weather maker, though, on the horizon there, coming up into Portland, Seattle, and to that I-5 corridor we see there into Washington. And that's what's going to provide us a chance of for weather here, a chance of rain for Wednesday for the Tallahassee area. So a lot to talk about nationally, a lot of activity going across. We look into the next 24 hours, and that system, that low pressure system, continues into the middle Ohio Valley and then pushes on up into the northeast, really giving them a very big area of snowfall there For tonight's forecast, those temperatures really surging in. -1 degrees there, the low there in Minneapolis. Twin Cities very cold there. 16 in Kansas City, 34 there in Dallas, Fort Worth. And for tomorrow, not much relief in places like Kansas City, 20 degrees, 10 in Minneapolis there in the Twin Cities. And then back into the southeast, we start to see those warmer than normal temperatures. That was that warm sector that Jake was referring to out ahead of that cold front there for the southeast. And as we go into the next couple of weeks, though, we're going to have to look at those colder than average temperatures, and those will really affect us as we go into the latter weeks of January. And now I'm going to hand things over to Sarah. We're going to take a look at that Phoenix. That's going to be that metro area.
Yeah, thank you. But you were saying that the National was very active, but as we move into Phoenix, Arizona, the metro area, as you're going to see with this forecast, there's not a lot going on. Very pleasant over there. Current conditions right now, Phoenix is at 69 degrees, Glendale at 70, Goodyear at 68. So right now, maybe just a light jacket as you're going out on the town, but very pleasant out. So move on into our dew points. Dew points very comfortable, not too dry as we were over there for the AMS conference. My voice was gone with the dryness over there, but right now they're pretty comfortable right now in the 40s and 50s, 52 in Goodyear, 49 in Phoenix, Scottsdale at 46. Current winds, some areas being very breezy out, so definitely if you're going out, make sure you have a lot of that hairspray. Your hair is going to be all over the place, ladies, if you're going out on the town. Phoenix at 14 degrees, or not 14 degrees, 14 miles per hour, 12 at Goodyear, and Glendale at 5. So definitely taking the effect of that wind as you're going out and about. But our satellite radar, nothing going on, nothing too exciting, very much all sunshine around as we get into Friday evening as the sun starts to set on into 6 o'clock, and it's moving on into Saturday as well. Even still then, not really much going on there. And as we see the satellite radar, a lot of that activity is going to be more into the Midwest and over as we move into the southeast with this low pressure system. But for Phoenix, going to be sitting all sunshine and pleasant conditions out there. So here's our next 24 hours. Basically, it's nothing really exciting, just copy and paste with each day as we keep moving on. Saturday into the morning time, clear conditions for that morning, and moving into the afternoon to evening very quickly. I mean, not really much, not seeing much. Maybe you might see a few passing clouds here and there, but pretty much going to be seeing clear conditions right now for Phoenix. Tonight's forecast is going to dip down to a low 40 degrees, 44 in Glendale, 45 in Phoenix. Definitely make sure to keep that jacket on as you're going out and about. But for tomorrow, very pleasant out there. Unlike in Florida, we're going to be seeing some storms rolling into the afternoon time and evening time. Phoenix, going to be very pleasant all around, sunshine, sun everywhere around the metro area. 70 in Scottsdale, Glendale at 69, Phoenix 71, and Maricopa at 69 as well. So they're very pleasant over there as they're seeing not much activity. But for now, we're going to zoom off over to Florida with Dylan.
Thank you very much, Sarah. Well, while those temperatures kind of feel comparable in Arizona over here, it's definitely a different feeling. That's more of a dry air. We've got that moisture and we got cloud cover, so it's not as nice over here as it is over in Phoenix, Arizona. We're seeing cloud cover still scattered around the state, warmer conditions than yesterday. Again, Miami seeing 72 degrees, West Palm Beach 72 as well. Farther up in the state and in Pensacola, you got 63 degrees, clear skies, so not too bad. Not seeing widespread rain just yet. Our dew points, though, something interesting to note. We have this pocket of dry air entrained in the middle of the state. Down into South Florida, you have a bit of moisture, and then ahead of that frontal system we all keep talking about, you have some moisture as well. 62-degree dew point in Tallahassee, 57 in Pensacola. Orlando, though, only seeing a 39-degree dew point, and that's because the moisture is really just not getting there from the Gulf. There's not enough wind to drive all this moisture into Orlando, so they are staying relatively dry, but you have the moisture being advected or moved into Tallahassee and Pensacola ahead of that front. And then down into South Florida, you have some influences from the Atlantic and the Gulf bringing a bit of moisture just into their area as well. Then going into the satellite and radar, relatively clear, though some offshore showers off by Panama City and Apalachicola, and then some showers farther north, but relatively clear as of now. But we're going to see this pattern shift as we go into the next day. Zooming into the northern part of the state, relatively clear, as I said, just a few showers offshore, but there is the possibility of a light shower or two firing up just at any point in time into tonight. And as we go look at tonight's forecast, though, we see rain sticking into the area on the western counties mostly, but as you go into the eastern counties, you see cloud cover with a possibility of a shower, but still relatively warmer conditions than the last couple of days, with this cloud cover sticking in and making it feel just a bit warmer as the cooling air can't leave the surface, and we're staying relatively warm. Then going down to the central part of the state into Orlando and Daytona Beach, nothing much, just a bit of ground clutter. That's not rain, that's just some upper level clouds and some ground clutter. And cloud cover is sticking around tonight as well. Again, warmer conditions, not too bad, only mid-50s, mid to lower 50s are the temperatures. Melbourne seeing 56 degrees and Cocoa Beach seeing 56 as well. Then going down into South Florida, where I'm from and my family who's watching the show right now is from, they're seeing clear skies and relatively clear conditions, but again, cloud cover sticking around. For Floridians, this is kind of a cooler night at 65 degrees, but not too bad, not warm, but not the coolest of nights if you like the colder temperatures down there. Then going up to our next 24 hours, we see clear conditions with the possibility of rain into the Big Bend area. But as we go into the next 24 hours, we see the front really align itself and really concentrate itself in terms into this nice line of storms that's going to move into Pensacola and then start to dissipate as it starts to move farther eastward, though. And that's why we have the slight risk over in the western part of the Panhandle, but in towards the central part, you start to see the moderate risk, not as severe risk. And as we go into tomorrow's forecast, we see more of the same pattern. Rain into the northern part of the state, clear and warmer conditions down into the southern part of the state as the sun heats them up just a bit. But right now I'm going to send it over to the desk with Jake and Sarah to talk about some local events.
Thanks, Dylan. Yeah, we have a few couple events going on. Most of them are concentrated on the Sunday.
Yeah, which is thankfully when these storms that Dylan was talking about, we've been saying all show, these should be out of the way before all this happens. So a couple of good chances to get out there. Before we go into the Tallahassee specifics, we'll just give a shout out to Harrison and the boys. We're going to be in action Sunday afternoon taking on the Boston College Eagles all the way up in Chestnut Hill, Mass.
And then we also have FSU women's basketball playing here at home on Sunday against Duke, and that's at 2 o'clock. So definitely go out there.
15-2 this season. They're back in the top 25, playing some really good basketball. It's a really good, really fun time to go check them out. Moving gears a little bit here, we're going to start talking about the lunar eclipse that's going to be taking place on Sunday night as well. Not something you get to see very often.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be the last one we're going to see here in Florida until the next 2 years. So if you have some free time, you want to go out, make sure you're in an area where you're not going to get a lot of light pollution and stuff. So you need to be out where it's clear outside and you can go out there and look. I mean, I'm probably going to maybe go up to up into the Love Building. We'll see. Yeah.
It's going to be starting Sunday night around say about 9:30 p.m.
Yeah.
Should be peaking a couple hours later, but you'll have some sort of a view for a good 4 hours or so if you're looking to get out there. And keep in mind, of course, the university is going to be closed on Monday anyway, so don't worry if it's going to be a school night for you guys with the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday coming up on Monday. The university will be closed. All libraries will be closed. The fitness and movement clinic at the Health and Wellness Center will be closed. Leach is still open though, so.
So if you want to go out and work out, definitely go out there. It'll be open. Maybe just take the day to rest and relax. Maybe if you have some homework. I mean, I have homework, so catch up on homework, but yeah. Yeah,
and the Student Life Cinema will actually be opening up its doors to the public this weekend to show a film in honor of Martin Luther King Jr. week that the university is hosting. So those showings will be tonight as well as tomorrow evening.
Yep, so definitely make sure to go out. We do, just recap, basketball playing, we have MLK Day, and we also have the lunar eclipse. But for now, we're going to send things over back to the wall.
Hey, thanks guys. Really excited about that lunar eclipse, and hopefully we can get some better sky conditions. You can see the clouds there currently, 66 degrees there, a Doak Campbell in the background. Winds out of the south at 8 miles per hour. And currently across the area, we're starting to have some dropping temperatures. 59 there over in Blakely as we start to have that sun go down. 61 over in Moultrie, 63 Thomasville, a little bit warmer as we head down to the coast. 65 there, Carabel, and 64 Apalachicola. They're enjoying some of that onshore flow there. And that's showing up on the dew point values, a 60-degree dew point there in St. Mark's, 63 Carabel. A little bit drier, starting to funnel in there, Blakely there at 55. We really won't see much changes there of the dry air until we get that frontal system that'll come through tomorrow night. Wind speed and direction, we're enjoying that wind out of the south there, 8-mile-per-hour wind here in Tallahassee, 7 down in St. Mark's, and then rather calm as we start to head up into southern Georgia. We get into the northern fringes of our viewing area there in South Georgia along the Highway 84 corridor there. Satellite radar, we did have a few showers that moved through earlier. Nothing severe though. Those have moved well off to our east and things are starting to quiet down. Some high clouds though that will be filtering through the area over the next several hours. That system on the horizon, though, over Oklahoma, that'll continue to make its way our direction. In the next 48 hours, we start to have that cloud activity there. Cloudy there. Across the area, we'll be kind of socked in with the clouds, but then we start to see as we go into Saturday, notice that line of storms there. 9 o'clock is when it has it really knocking on the door for Tallahassee, but I really urge that this is going to be kind of an event where one model showing a little bit closer to 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock. This one's showing more of a 8 or 9 to 10. So really want to get those outdoor activities done by, I would say, about 7 o'clock or even around sunset. So go ahead and for your Saturday, utilize the Saturday, get those activities done. We could have some lightning with these, so that's really what I'm concerned about. Possible damaging winds, but really, it's been a while since we had some good thunderstorms come through the area, so lightning, definitely when you hear the thunder, get indoors there. But as that clears out, should be nice for that lunar eclipse that we always keep talking about. It's a super wolf moon, full moon there for January, and nice skies there. It will be cold though, so definitely bundle up for that event. Tonight, 57 degrees, mostly cloudy skies. Nice brisk wind at 4 miles per hour out of the south. And then for tomorrow, not a complete washout. That's what I want to emphasize here. Get what you need to get done. 71 degrees, 60% chance of showers and storms, but that'll mainly be after about 5, 6 o'clock is when we want to start watching out for those. Definitely an evening event there. Winds will be very brisk though, out of the south at 15 miles per hour. If you're trying to hit the links tomorrow, definitely get that done in the morning to about the noon time. At about 3 o'clock, that's when we start to open up the window for possibility of showers and storms knocking on the door. And for that week ahead though, a lot to talk about. It's going to be a very active week. Saturday, again, we will hit 71 degrees, but then bam, we have that cold front move through that will have a very concentrated showers and storms will move through, and then 50 degrees for Sunday. So notice heading over to church, definitely want to bundle up as you're heading off for that. And 30-degree morning there for your Monday as you're celebrating Martin Luther King Jr. Birthday there on Monday. But we do have some sunshine, 53 degrees, and those temperatures will continue to start to rebound. Mid-60s, and then by Thursday, 60 degrees as we start to have that next weather maker come through. I showed you that low pressure system in the Pacific Northwest. A lot to talk about. We have a very active week ahead and just a lot going on right now across the country. And I'm really glad we can sneak in at least 71 for Saturday. That'll be nice, right?
Do you have this problem? I have a question for you, Colby.
Okay.
Speaking of all this changing weather, do you have this problem where you have just all your jackets laying around, your raincoat and your winter coats just laying around because it keeps changing every day?
Absolutely, and it's all about layering up. And today we were able to take off the hoodies a little earlier, and then sometimes you're wearing the hoodie till like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's just really hard.
Well, I just have a pile. I mean, look, it's hard to dress when you got changing weather. Tomorrow you got rain and cold and warmer temperatures. Then the cold comes back, and then more rain. You
just got to be prepared. You got to be prepared, and you got to be just ready for the possibility of dressing in layers. And but hey, I was in Oklahoma over the winter break, so I'll take it. Very cold conditions there, and it was very dreary. Had some rain move through, so hey, I'm digging the 71. The trade-off will be the rain. That'll come through Saturday evening into Saturday night, but hey, if we can sneak in a little bit of sunshine for Monday and Tuesday, I'll definitely take it there.
I mean, even to the later parts of Sunday, we're going to have some sunshine as well, Colby. I mean, the blood moon is taking event on Sunday night, Monday morning. So it's actually not that bad of a forecast as we get some clearer skies coming in for that.
Yeah, so just definitely bundle up for that because we'll have to be, we'll go from the 70s into the 50s.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 40-degree swing when you go from tomorrow afternoon to Monday night at 30 degrees. It's a 40-degree swing. It's insane. But also, don't forget to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/FSU Weather.
You can watch us live on YouTube /FSU Weather /live.
We're also on Instagram at FSU Weather as well. And don't forget, oh, that was it. Sorry, oops.
Well, you know, we're on all the social media outlets. Hey, send those pictures of the blood moon. Maybe get the blood moon there. It should clear up nicely for Sunday, so that'll be really nice there.
Yeah, great conditions for after the storms move through.
After the storms move through.
Don't forget the raincoat tomorrow.
So we'll be back on Tuesday because we have the holiday on Monday. I'm student meteorologist Colby Pope.
And I'm student meteorologist Dylan Leith. Have a great night, folks.